Hello everyone, I'm Asagigfo, and today we're going to be looking at the neutral Forged in the Barrens cards. Now, it's been such a long time since I posted actual Hearthstone content, and the last one I did was in January, and that was only a short video, so this is the first long-form Hearthstone content I've had since Darkmoon Fair's release. So here we are again, back in the saddle here for Forged in the Barrens, and doing the neutral cards, because nobody does those first for some reason. But before we start, I'd just like to ask everybody to comment your thoughts, because the main goal of this video, and the ones to come, are to spark discussion. That's what I want to come from these. And if we can do that, we can improve the experience of the Forged in the Barrens release for everybody. And second, it helps me out as a channel because your comments fuel the algorithm, which allows more people to see this video and more people to discuss, and everything. It's just a cycle of pretty much everything being a win-win. So comment your thoughts down below, and let's get started with Kindling Elemental. A 1-mana 1/2 elemental minion that says Battlecry. The next elemental you play costs 1 less. This is a really cool card because we've seen a lot of elemental synergy in Darkmoon Fair with Shaman and Mage. This is a really nice inclusion in those decks. Hopefully this is a way to get those decks running in the early game. And one other thing that I'd like to mention that I forgot to in the intro is that I haven't seen most of these cards. Like, I haven't seen any of the ones from the card reveal stream, and I've done that to avoid spoilers and give you guys my first impressions on most of these cards. So hopefully that's a good change of pace. Next up we have Far Watchpost, a 2-mana 2/4 neutral minion that says can't attack. After your opponent draws a card, it costs 1 more, up to 10. So one theme that I've noticed is there's a Watchpost synergy theme. Watchpost synergy just seems super weird. Like, all of them can't attack, and they do something when your opponent does stuff. They're kind of like trogs in that way. This is a really interesting way to look at Hearthstone. Like, just kind of leeching off of what your opponent does. And it might actually promote actual disruption decks, which is a very interesting direction to take Hearthstone that hasn't really been seen before. But when we're looking at this card in particular, it's looking strong. A 2-mana 2/4 that can attack is weak on its own, but its ability more than makes up for it, in my opinion. Making your opponent's cards that they draw cost 1 more is more powerful than you might think, because although it doesn't really do anything to affect the board now, it'll marginally do a lot if this stays alive pretty much any amount of time longer than 1 turn, like, because this already increases the cost of 1 card, which is not too much, but it does incentivize the opponent to spend resources on a 2-mana 2/4, which is good. I'm really intrigued about the Watchpost synergies. Next we have Hecklefang Hyena, a 2-mana 2/4 beast that says Battlecry, deal 3 damage to your hero. This is really interesting. Like, I don't think we've had a neutral minion that deals damage to your hero like this. Is the 2-mana 2/4 stat line worth the 3 damage though? That's the question. And for some decks it is, like Hyper Aggro Beast Hunter might want to run this just because of the 1 extra health. Like, I think that's a fair assumption to make. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't make it in any list ever. Because a 2-mana 2/4 stat line and nothing else. Well, I guess there's Beast synergy, but I don't know what Beast deck is going to run a 2-mana 2/4 that deals 3 damage to you. I just don't see this one working out, except for in that really hyper aggro context. Alright, here's our first Murloc. Lushwater Mercenary, 2-mana 3/2 Murloc. That reads Battlecry. If you control a Murloc, gain +1/+1. Very simple, just a 2-mana 4/3 in a Murloc deck. Yeah, it's a Murloc, it'll see play in Murloc decks, and Murloc Shaman is looking pretty promising right now. Like, even though Warlord is out, I think the new Murloc synergy, one card I did see is Firemancer Flurgle, and like Murloc Shaman is looking okay. So if the removal of Warlord is like too devastating for a Murloc deck to ever be played again, I'll be very surprised because there are a lot of powerful Murlocs like this. Ooh, and here we have another Lushwater Murloc. It's Lushwater Scout, a 2-mana 1/3 Murloc that reads, after you summon a Murloc, give it +1 attack and rush. Ah, so it's like a broom for Murlocs. Or not a broom, but a magic carpet. So, like, same for the last one. It's gonna go in Murloc decks. Yep, that's about it. Ooh, here we have Oasis Thrasher, a 2-mana 2/3 beast that says Frenzy, deal 3 damage to the enemy hero. Now this is a beast that can go into Beast Hunter. This is a cool beast. Like, the trade-off for 1 health and the damage going to the opponent instead on Frenzy is all the difference in this card. Like that other Hyena, now this looks horrible compared to this Oasis Thrasher. Like, this is a great card compared to that. It's just a really solid beast that may or may not see play in Beast Hunter if that becomes a thing. And another thing I should mention is that Frenzy is gonna be like really good in Warrior because of how Warrior works. So this card is really nice. But also I should say that neutral beasts don't normally see play in those kinds of decks. Like on second thought, like all these neutral beasts, like their effects are fairly minimal. It's good compared to the other Hyena, but the other Hyena was really bad. Like I kind of need to rein myself in. Like I showed a lot of enthusiasm for the Hyena, and then later on I kind of calmed down and said, oh, this is garbage. I don't know what I was thinking when I gave that so much praise, like literally 5 minutes ago. I don't even know how long it was, but I think, like, 1, this card is exponentially better than that one, and 2, it's still not going to see play, mainly because it's just like a base stat minion with a conditional effect, and yeah, that's about it. All it does is just kind of deal damage to the hero, and that's it. So unless you're an aggro hunter that really wants that damage, you're not going to see this card too much. Alright, here we have Peon, 2-mana 2/3 minion that says Frenzy, add a random spell from your class to your hand. Long story short, Wand Maker's just better. That's about it. I mean, you're not going to run this instead of Wand Maker, because 1, Wand Maker's immediate, and it has a much better chance of giving you something that you actually want, whereas Peon is just any spell. Wand Maker narrows it down to 1-cost spells. And 1-cost spells are going to be very consistent when the classic set rotates and the core set replaces it. So Peon just kind of seems obsolete at this point. Here we have Talented Arcanist, a 2-mana 1/3 minion that says Battlecry. Your next spell this turn has +2 spell damage. Oh, what was it? Like Celestial or Cosmic Anomaly? No, that was no. But it was a Boomsday Mage minion that basically had this same text, but it was a 2/1. And now this is a neutral minion. Very interesting. Yeah, neutral spell damage. Like if your deck wants spell damage, chances are there are better spell damage minions in your class already, which is pretty much Mage and Shaman right now. Like, that's all I can think of. So while it's a pretty cool effect, I don't think it's going to see too much play because the classes that, like, again, the classes that need spell damage already have it, and this would just be, I think, too redundant. Alright, here we have Toad of the Wilds, a 2-mana 2/2 beast with Taunt, so it could go in Taunt or Beast Druid. Interesting. Battlecry, if you're holding a nature spell, gain 2 health. Again, Druid looking straight at you. Like, that's pretty much the only place where this is going. Shaman also has nature spells, but it doesn't really have a demand for a 2/4 beast with Taunt. I mean, also, like, this basically screams Druid. That's it. Like, it's named Toad of the Wilds. I mean, come on. This is pretty much a Druid card. Well, also, then again, Hunter has nature spells, but less of them. So this could be seen in some sort of weird control hunter. I don't really see that happening, so Druid, basically. Alright, here we have Barrens Trapper, a 3-mana 2/4 that says your Death Rattle cards cost 1 less. Sorcerer's Apprentice for Death Rattles. So there's Death Rattle Demon Hunter, and then there's Death Rattle Hunter, which could use this. Nothing else is coming to mind right now, like no other prominent Death Rattle decks. And especially with the inclusion of Baron Rivendare, I believe that's the card, just the double Death Rattle 1/7. Like, Death Rattles are going to be super prominent in the meta, so possibly this card is as well. And if it sticks, it can cheat out some stuff. It's looking alright. Like, as long as the Death Rattle decks don't have a very solid 30 card list, this could be included. Here we have Crossroads Gossiper, a 3-mana 4/3 minion that reads, after a friendly secret is revealed, gain +2/+2. This one is interesting. And by interesting, I mean good. Like, Secret Mage is really nice right now, and adding more secret synergy to that seems good at first glance. But I don't think it's going to see play because it's just stats. And normally secret cards that are just stats don't see play. So I think this one's going to be left in the dust because secret lists already have a pretty solid list, and it does not include just stat minions like tempo like this. Like, they already have, like, Secret Rogue and Secret Mage already have their lists pretty down pat. And especially Secret Rogue, pretty much nothing is changing with that deck. I don't really see a place for Crossroads Gossiper. Here we have Death's Head Cultist, a 3-mana 2/4 with Taunt, Death Rattle, restore 4 health to your hero. So more sustain for Taunt Druid. If push comes to shove, this might actually be an interesting choice for other control decks, because it's kind of like Rotten Applebaum in that way. In fact, this is like eerily similar to Rotten Applebaum. Like, Death Rattle decks might consider running this in the absence of Kartut Defender, which is another good point. Kartut Defender is going out, so there needs to be some sort of a replacement for that. Might see some play, actually. Here we have Hog Rancher, 3-mana 3/2 minion that says, Battlecry, summon a 2/1 Hog with Rush. So in total, this is 5/3 in stats for 3, which is nice. Like, that's something you need in, like, when the stats are spread out like that. Like, if you read into it, the 2/1 Hog can be pretty much translated as 2 damage, so it's a 3-mana 3/2, deal 2 damage. And there's a beast in there, so this little guy might actually be played in a token deck, but like, the only token deck I see this being run in is Token Demon Hunter, and that already has Coordinated Strike, so this one might not have a place. Alright, here's Horde Operative, a 3-mana 3/4 neutral minion that reads, Battlecry, copy your opponent's secrets and put them into play. Now, this doesn't destroy secrets, but it does copy them, and that, on its own, I think is good enough tech, like in the same vein of Eater of Secrets. Like, especially if your opponent has a ton of secrets, this is a really good play, just getting tons and tons of value. And I believe Secret Paladin is also becoming a thing. I forgot to mention that for the Gossiper card, which might actually change my view of it, but Horde Operative is best against Secret Mage because it gets the most mana value off of Secret Mage. This might see play with the prevalence of 3 secret decks, which is Mage, Paladin, Rogue, and maybe Hunter. And here's Mancrick, I believe the legendary that everyone's getting for free on the release date of the expansion. He's a 3-mana 3/4 legendary minion that reads, Battlecry, help Mancrick find his wife. She was last seen somewhere in your deck. How this card works is it shuffles this card into your deck that casts when drawn, summon a 3/10 Mancrick who immediately attacks the enemy hero, and this is the Mad Mancrick. Like, for one thing, the lore of this card is really nice. Like, it's a really good callback to World of Warcraft. In terms of actually playing the card in Hearthstone, it might see play in Shuffle Rogue, if that sees any synergy. But other than that, it's kind of unreliable. Like, getting a 3/10 for free is nice, but it's super delayed. Most decks might not want to run a base stat 3-mana 3/4. They might not want to run a Spider Tank, but if they can take advantage of either really quick draw or some sort of tutor effect to get Ulcra Mancrick's wife quickly, this card is definitely seeing play in that. Here we have another Watchpost, Martian Washpost. It's a 3-mana 3/5 that can't attack. After your opponent plays a minion, summon a 2/2 Grunt. Basically, the same stuff applies to what I said about the other Watchpost. Like, these cards are A, super disruptive, and B, they incentivize your opponent to spend resources on a slightly overstated minion that can't attack. Again, this Watchpost archetype is really shaping out to be a one-of-a-kind thing in Hearthstone. And here we have Ratchet Privateer, a 3-mana 4/3 pirate that says Battlecry, give your weapon +1 attack. Very solid card. Definitely going to see play in Pirate Warrior if that happens, and might see play in Weapon Rogue, although like maybe a Pirate Weapon Rogue might be too slow. I'm not really certain, especially with a lot of the pirate synergies changing, one with like Warrior Pirates rotating out, and with stuff like South Sea Deckhand rotating out. So this might provide a nice base for Pirate Rogue decks. It's just a really solid pirate. Or did I say, for the last one, did I say Pirate Rogue? I meant like just pirate decks. Here we have Sunwell Initiate, a 3-mana 3/4 minion that says Frenzy, gain Divine Shield. Very simple. And again, Frenzy works really well with Warrior. There's not really too much demand for Divine Shield minions right now. But the 3-mana 3/4 stat line is nice for something like this. I speculate that the Divine Shield is going to happen often. In that case, this might be a pretty cool card. But the main use for this is in Warrior, like if there's a Frenzy Warrior that happens. Alright, here we have Venomous Scorpion, a 3-mana 1/3 neutral beast that reads Poisonous, Battlecry, discover a spell. Huh, that's interesting. So it's like, Emperor Cobra, is that the card? Like the 3-mana 2/3 with Poisonous, but it just can discover a spell for you? For one thing, this is a nice arena card. Like, this reads as an arena card to me, but other than that, like, I just saw the flavor text and I saw the Druid Mercenary's name in it, and I go, yeah, this could be brought in Druid, like a Beast Druid, if that works out. It's a good stat line with some nice value. It's kind of like a Primordial Drake in that way, but with one less attack. I don't have no idea where this would see play, though. This is such a weirdo card. Poisonous and Discover. That's such a weird combo. I guess this is just a card that makes me gonna go, huh. Like, that's it. I don't really get too excited about this card. Like, it's a 3-mana beast, though, which means it can be summoned by Teacher's Pet, which is something to consider. So, off of Teacher's Pet, this is really nice. But I don't think any deck would run this other than maybe a Beast Druid. And here we have Blademaster Samuro, a 4-mana 1/6 neutral legendary that reads Rush, Frenzy, deal damage equal to this minion's attack to all enemy minions. Yeah, this is seeing play in Warrior, because Frenzy, but also Rush synergy, and also, like, this is a really nice hit off of Stage Dive. Like, if you want to run this in, like, a Rush hand buff deck, like Bumper Car and Blademaster Samuro, get some good hand buff and then deal a bunch of damage to everything. This is really cool. That is a cool prospect. But on its own, doesn't really seem that cool. Like, it's worse than Swipe. Like, on its own, I would say it's worse than Swipe. Yeah, but this really needs buffs to work. Honestly, I think this card lives and dies in some sort of hand buff deck, or some sort of deck that can buff it when it's played. But other than that, it's not seeing play anywhere else. Here we have another Watchpost. It's Crossroads Watchpost, 4-mana 4/6 minion that can't attack. And whenever your opponent casts a spell, give your minions +1/+1. So, okay, I'm gonna paint a picture here. So, on 2, you play your 2-mana Watchpost. Your opponent's cards cost more. or at least as they're drawing them. Turn 3, you play another Watchpost, and all their minions are costing more because you summon 2/2s. Like, not necessarily costing more mana, but they're costing you in tempo. And then you play this with all of your 2/2 grunts that come out of the other Watchpost, and then they play a spell to answer them. They all get +1/+1. So they're a bit stickier and harder to answer. Like, this Watchpost deck is looking kind of mean. Like, I don't know what class it would go into yet, but this is looking really interesting. I really like this. I'm just kind of taken away. I'm really intrigued. Watchpost synergy. I never thought I'd say something like that. Like a week ago, I never would have imagined Watchpost synergy being a thing in Hearthstone. Like, I guess that's how much I know about World of Warcraft, or at least the Warcraft games. Watchpost deck. Cool. Here we have Darkspeaker Berserker, a 4-mana 5/7 that says Death Rattle, deal 5 damage to your hero. This is way better than that stupid Hyena. 5 damage at that point? Like, you're getting a 5/7, which is what? 3 more than base stat, which is really nice. And it's a nice stat distribution too. It's one off from a Boulder Fist Ogre. Rip Boulder Fist Ogre, by the way. May he rest in peace and wild. See, the thing is though, same thing with that Hyena. It's just stats. That's it. That's all you're getting. And like, even if you can silence it, this just seems like such an card to me. Like, cool, you're getting a bunch of stats up front, then your opponent removes it, you deal 5 damage, and then you're down a card, you feel bad. It's not good. I mean, the stats are good, but that's about it. Like, or stats alone don't carry a card. Here we have Gruntled Patron, a 4-mana 3/3. With Frenzy, summon another Gruntled Patron. It's worse than Grim Patron because, well, it can't summon multiple patrons, but I don't think that was... well, okay, this is really interesting. Like, if Patron Warrior 2.0, question mark? Like, if you whirlwind a board with a Gruntled Patron that has already summoned a Gruntled Patron, so a 3/2 Patron and a 3/3 Patron, you're only going to get one more Patron, not 2, which is a severe downside to this card compared to Grim Patron. But it's 1 less mana. But is that really worth it? That's the question. And I think the answer is to be determined, because I haven't seen a lot of the Warrior cards yet. But I'm going to keep this one in mind for Frenzy Warrior. Like, that is going to be an interesting consideration. It's Patron Warrior 2.0. I'd love to see that. Oh, wait. Go back. Uh-oh. I'm lost. Okay. I just got so excited. So, cool thing about this card, Warsong Commander gives everything that's summoned rush, right? Oh, I need to pull it up. Warsong Commander is actually worth playing now. Warsong Commander. Summon. Okay, yeah. Patron Warrior 2.0. Warsong Commander, Gruntled Patron, boom, 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 boom. Just picture it in your mind. This card is crazy with Warsong Commander. That's gonna be a ton of fun. Alright, here we have Injured Marauder. A 4-mana 5/10 with Taunt. Battlecry, deals 6 damage to this minion. That's big. That's real big. Heal Priest. Oh, Heal Priest. This and Heal Priest is gonna be nuts. Like, Heal Priest already is really looking good. But this as well? Real nice. Real good. Heal Priest. Alright, here's one I'm pretty excited about. It's Kazakus, Golem Shaper, 4-mana 3/3, as always. Battlecry, if your deck has no 4-cost cards, build a custom Golem. And that condition, first off, is fairly easy to achieve. Having no 4-cost minions was the easiest of the Frozen Throne princes to achieve, and it's no different here, obviously. Especially in a long game deck like this card is probably meant to be in. You're mainly going to be making 5/5 and 10/10 golems. Like, lesser golems 1/1. This golem is 5/5. This golem is 10/10. And it kind of works like the other Kazakus, which you choose a golem, 1/1, 5/5, 10/10, and then you choose 2 effects, which I assume are going to be battle cries. This card seems really nice in control. This isn't really conducive to being in a Highlander deck in Wild because of the 4-cost limit, but other than that, it's looking pretty nice for those kind of control decks. One thing I do have to say is that if there are any like really busted 4-cost cards that aren't Kazaka's Golem Shaper, it might be hard to cut those cards for 1 Kazakus. Here we have Southsea Scoundrel. It's a 4-mana 5/5 that says Battlecry, discover a card in your opponent's deck. They will draw theirs as well. Like, you don't gain card advantage. Well, actually, hold on. So say you have 4 cards in your hand, including Southsea Scoundrel. You play it, you still have 4 cards because of the discover, but then they draw it as well. So they gain a card while you don't lose a card. Pretty cool for a Burgle Rogue if that becomes a thing again, but it probably won't because that was in League of Explorers, and I don't really see that happening again, in this expansion at least. And I don't really see this in Pirate Warrior, because while it does have a nice stat line, I just get real big vibes from this card. It just seems like you would rather be playing other cards in a Pirate deck and in a Burgle deck that doesn't exist right now. It just seems like there are way better alternatives. Yeah, I don't see this one working out right now. Spirit Healer, a 4-mana 3/6 neutral minion that says after you cast a holy spell, give a random friendly minion +2 health. This is going into Priest and Paladin mostly, because they're the only ones with a notable amount of holy spells, if any at all. Paladin, I did see that there was a bit of holy spell synergy, and the heal Priest is definitely going to be a thing. So this card might just be a slam dunk in both archetypes, unless it gets pushed out by other better cards, which honestly I don't see happening. This is a pretty decent card. But the one thing... Oh wait, you don't need other minions. It can heal itself. It can give health to itself. So you don't even need other minions. You can just buff this to make it really big. This is a really interesting consideration for the heal Priest and holy spell Paladin. Also, it depends if holy spell... it depends if Librams are holy spells. If so, this is going to be amazing. This is an amazing card. Alright, Barrens Blacksmith. 5-mana 3/5. Frenzy, give your other minions +2/+2. Again, good in Frenzy Warrior. And maybe even sees play in Token Druid? It depends on how reliable Frenzy is, because we don't really have a good gauge of that yet. So keeping those, we don't really know how people are going to play around Frenzy. This card just might not be in Token Druid, but it's a definite consideration. And Frenzy Warrior is just, this is just really nice. It's just just take my money, right? Whoa, okay. Burning Blade Acolyte, 5-mana 1/1. Death Rattle, summon a 5/8 demon spawn with taunt. Huh. So Death Rattle Demon Hunter comes to mind, first off, and second off, Taunt Druid. For some reason, that's weird. 5-mana 1/1, horrible stats, obviously. But if you can trigger that Death Rattle multiple times, or get value off the taunt, stuff like that, as long as this isn't silenced or messed with, really solid. Having a delayed 5/8, and then, I should back up, the only way this is getting played is if there's value that comes out of this other than just it dying and then summoning one 5/8. Either with Taunt Druid or Demon Hunter, there needs to be something else. And I think that could actually work. Here we have Gold Road Grunt, a 5-mana 3/7 with Taunt. And Frenzy, gain armor equal to the damage taken. Oh, this is cool in a lot of different archetypes. First comes to mind is Druid, and then Warrior. But Warrior has a hard time activating this, because normally it does Frenzy with 1 damage. So you're only getting 1 armor from that, which isn't really worth it. But for Taunt Druid, this is nice. Actually, I take back what I said about a lot of different decks, because pretty much Taunt Druid, that's it. That's about all I see this card working in now that I think about it. Yep, Taunt Druid, that's about it. Alright, okay. Razormane Raider, 5 mana, 5/6. Frenzy, attack a random enemy. Solid and Warrior, that's about it. Very simple, very, like, one-dimensional Warrior, that's it. Shadowhunter Vulgin, a 5 mana 3/6 neutral legendary that reads Battlecry, choose a minion, swap it with a random one in its owner's hand. Now we already have this card. If you've logged into Hearthstone within this reveal schedule, you have this card already, and the one way I've seen it work is in Dual Paladin. And Dual Paladin is sick, so it's sad to see it go in the rotation. But other than that, it's pretty cool disruption. Like it's like you get to sap a minion and then dirty rat another one out. If the disruption deck I mentioned earlier becomes a thing, this is definitely a hallmark of that deck. And yeah, it's been okay so far. It's been okay. Like, I haven't really found too much success with it, but that's because I don't play Dual Paladin, because I don't have duels, and I don't have Tyrion and stuff. I don't have Terralion, so yeah. Next is Tarajo Brave. 6 mana 4/8 with Frenzy, destroy a random enemy minion. Seems too expensive at first glance. It's a powerful effect, but you already have that. Like, Warrior already has stuff like that. Hunter has, what was that, like, Arc Chewer? The 4 mana 3/5 beast spellburst, destroy a random enemy minion. That's way better than this card. This card just seems way too slow to see any play. I mean, the stat line's pretty nice, but eh. If it was a 4/9, maybe I'd consider it, but 4/8, it's just like marginally not good enough, marginally not good enough. Alright, here's Cargill Battlescar, 7 mana 5/5. Battlecry, summon a 5/5 lookout for each Watchpost you summon this game. There it is! It's the finisher for Watchpost, for the Watchpost archetype. Wow! If you summon all 6 Watchposts, you get 35/35 in stats on turn 7. Oh. The Watchpost archetype is looking good, man. Alright, here's the last one. Primordial Protector, 8 mana 6/6 elemental. That says Battlecry, draw your highest cost spell, summon a random minion with the same cost. Easy inclusion in Elemental Mage because of Grand Finale. Like, this instantly draws your Grand Finale, summons an 8-drop with a 6/6 already on there. Really nice. And maybe Shaman has another big spell that you draw, and then, whoa, it's the same thing. But yeah, Elemental decks are really gonna like this card. Other than that, though, like, I don't think a Spiteful Summoner type of deck can work in today's meta, just because of the weird deck building restrictions. Although this doesn't take as many restrictions, like, it only needs a high cost spell that you don't get unlucky and draw. It seems like only Mage and Shaman are gonna run this, if Shaman runs it at all. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching this Forged in the Barrens neutral card review. Just a reminder to leave a comment down below in order for the discussion to continue and reach other people. That would mean the world to me if I can see all of your thoughts on these neutral cards and getting some opinions that aren't mine in the discussion. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.